Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Embarrassing Diary. Thank you so much for the messages on the last episode. I was definitely flattered by so many messages, and this is the first time that has ever happened to me. I'm not used to it. I didn't know so many people were actually listening on the show. This is only the first month that this show is on air, so I'm really grateful for your messages, and this is something that definitely we're going to delve in the next episodes. But today, we're going to discuss about an equally important matter that has affected the whole world, the whole planet, and this is a zero waste philosophy and mentality. For that, I will not be alone. I have a very special guest, an activist, a medical biologist, a TEDx speaker twice, and the head of research and education at Zero Waste Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to introduce you, Nila Pati. Oh, hi, Nila.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm great. Thank you so for inviting me to your lovely podcast. I don't know how many guests you had, but you guys never see the one like this before.
This is where the magic starts because Nila has the golden touch. So it's definitely going to be something really epic with today's episode. I just have a feeling.
That's good. That's good. I'm not going to hide up too much,
Okay, you guys can watch Netflix. No, I'm just joking. Just join us in this conversation. It's something really important. Nila is a very charismatic person. She has dedicated her life into something very important that affects everyone, literally everyone. But I don't want to talk about it myself. I want to give the stage to you, Nila. If you can introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your life philosophy and how this all started.
Sure. So, hi everyone. Really nice to meet you in this podcast. My name is Nila Pati Pelupesi. I'm currently living in Indonesia, and what I do is simple. I ask people to join me on low waste living or zero waste lifestyle and how this lifestyle can actually change you, not just in the amount of trash that you created, but also personally and, financially as well. The reason why I start this is because, when we're talking about waste and trash, I come from a country where everything is being dumped on landfill. Like there's no process of the trash properly, and it's very heartbreaking if I may say it's very heartbreaking to see how the treatment of the waste is not being managed properly. Like there's no process. So what I did is like how we can start at home and how we can actually contribute in a positive way. So we don't actually creating additional burden to the landfill, but we're actually creating a sort of a solution from at home. And I can promise you, everyone can do this. Like everyone. I started when I was a student at university, and when you're a student, everything is limited. And even then, when everything is limited, we still can do this. So I hope with this podcast, we can share some knowledge and you can learn one or two things from the lifestyle.
Nice. It's so beautiful the way you even talk about it. So can you describe us a little bit of how a typical day looks for someone who has adopted the zero waste philosophy?
Sure. So what is important to understand from people is that zero waste doesn't mean that I don't produce any trash. Yeah. So this is a completely different thing. Like,
okay.
Yes, guys, I went to the bathroom. I mean, like normal bodily function still works. So, I mean, and that's a question that people have, especially children. I was like, zero waste, don't you go for potty? And I'm like, yes, I do go for potty, So
that's everybody else. She's a normal human, okay?
Exactly. So that's still happening. But the one thing that we make difference is that it's depending on where you are. If you're listening from a country where there is a segregation, like when you separate the plastic, the organic waste, the cardboard, for example, that is a perfect place to start because then you can just follow the system that is being provided by the government, right? But if you do not have, like how you can live is by make sure that all of this packaging is not coming into your home in the first place. The reason why is because when you buy fruit and vegetables and then you put it in this plastic bag, right? If you don't realize it, there is a cost to it as well. So there is a cost for this small little plastic bag by the vendors, by the shops, that you pay as well. So
Mhm.
You use it for just a couple of minutes for you to bring the food at home and then you change it to different containers. It's a wasting of money in a way. So when I started this lifestyle, I kid you not, what I use is an old pillowcase, like those one that has a hole in it that you don't want to use it anymore. So I just took my old pillowcase, go to the market in Nijmegen, like go to the market there and start putting in vegetables and fruit and everything that I need in that
In the pillowcase, in the
the
sleeping pillow.
pillowcase.
Okay, wow.
Exactly. So when I go to pay in the counter, for the cashier, the lady looked at me and the lady was like, "Are you okay? Like, is everything all right? Are you like in different kind of mental stage or something?" You know. So then I tell the story that is like, okay, I don't want to use a single use plastic because
Yeah.
I realized that I want to reduce the amount of trash that coming into my house, right?
Mm.
Because plastic essentially cannot be treated properly, like not 100%. Let's say it cannot be recycled into its own thing because
Mm.
contamination. Like if you add oil in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, what is interesting is that the lady said to me like, "Okay, well, you don't use our plastic, so I'll add extra oranges for you or extra this for you." So I was like, okay. I don't say no for free stuff, like this kind of thing. So, I realized that, okay, if I change something, people start to notice,
Mhm.
right? And they start to compensate as well because they realize like, oh, I don't have to spend plastic for this lady. Then let me just give her something nice because she's trying.
Oh,
Same
nice.
story when I want to buy takeout food, like, takeout container. I like fries. Like I live with fries and ice creams, like it was a university. It was university
I
style
know.
out. So don't judge me. Anyway, so like I will go to the place where you buy fries with a container, like this container, like the plastic boxes, cheap one that you can buy
Yeah.
anywhere, right? But it's reusable. You can reuse it for so many times. And I kid you not, the guy will look at me. Is like, okay, this is new, and then they will give me fries, but then I pay the same price as my friend, but I got almost
More.
twice. Yeah,
Wow.
so because he was like, "Oh, you're being good to the environment. Let me contribute as well." Like, this kind of thing. So, and it happened multiple times, multiple
Mhm.
times. On top of that, I stopped eating junk food.
Mhm.
So because like this chips bags, the one that you buy in the supermarket, I don't buy it anymore because I decided like I'm not using single use plastic at all. I want to
Mhm.
change completely. I want to make sure that my contribution to the environment is in the organic ways. So that
Mm.
means like going for composting instead of packaging that cannot really be treated.
Yeah.
So I will not buy junk food, and it there are two things that happen when you stop doing that. The first thing is the health aspect for sure, right? So you become healthier because my snack will be whole food, like fruits,
Mhm.
vegetables, nuts, like anything that you can get without packaging. And the second thing is that you will save money because you're not buying compulsive stuff anymore. Like
Mm.
there is some thought behind that makes you think, I want to buy this, but do I really need this? So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
distinguish between needs and wants.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something of this lifestyle that is like that you can give it a try as well. So yeah, it's a whole thing that's basically on the shopping side. And then when you get home, you try to make sure that everything that you own is reusable, can be reused all the time, or has a long shelf life. Like for example, clothing, you buy quality instead of quantity. Stop buying the cheap brand because the cheap brand do child labor, like so
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
impact goes beyond just trash that you created. It
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
on your consumerism level. It goes on your purchase decision. And if you purchase something else, then the businesses realize like there is an interest for that kind of product and for that kind of market, and they will provide more if more
Mm.
people are doing this. So yeah, my typical day at home is simple. The moment the grocery shopping is finished, I just do segregation because then the
Mhm.
trash that is being created is organic waste. So I can just do composting. Currently, I'm doing composting here, not 100% because I cannot compose like fish bone and meat stuff at home. So
Mhm.
I still throw it in the landfill. Unfortunately, in Indonesia we cannot really process it. But if you live in a country like, for example, the Netherlands, where I used to live, they process it completely 100%.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they, like, for example, in the city of Nijmegen at that time, they turned it into a biofuel for the buses. Like, you feel
Wow.
good because you make sure that your trash doesn't end up anywhere else, and then it's actually being reused as biofuel for the buses that you took. So
Yeah.
it's a win-win in a way. So that's something that you can do as well.
Yeah. And that actually makes you also become a little bit innovative, like the older times, right? Like our grandmas, grandpas. I remember my grandma. What you're describing is exactly how my grandma used to live, and she used to have a happy life. So then I wanted to ask you as well, like, did you come up as well? Did you think of some interesting innovations that you have to come up with?
So I had a plenty innovation at that time because I started in 2016, and believe me, when I started in 2016, there is no shop that sell this. I did a toothpaste tablet or like deodorant in a tin jar and all
Yeah.
of this fancy stuff. They don't have it. They don't care at that time. There is only like this crazy people like me that is doing this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so the market was like, okay, this is more interesting to do business.
Yeah.
So what I did is, um, lucky you who are born with like body sweat odor that doesn't make people die in summer. Let's say. So, but unfortunately, I'm sweating. So I'm sweating. I need deodorant, right? And deodorant at that time come in plastic. All of them, almost all of them come in plastic. So what I did is I need to be innovative. So I made a several let's say prototype of deodorants for myself.
Okay.
Like I use so many different things. Like in the beginning I used baking soda, only baking soda, right? But then
Mhm. Mhm.
but then I didn't realize that I have sensitive skin. So what happened is plastic ribbon on my armpit, not fun. But
Oh
then I
my.
realized that, okay, I cannot just use baking soda. I need to use buffering system for it. So this is where the brain start working. Like, okay, what kind of system? Okay, well, I can use coconut oil because coconut oil is hard and solid when it's
Yeah.
cold. So you can use it as like balm in a way. And then
Mm.
what else that is absorb sweat? Like for example, corn flour.
Mhm. Mhm.
Flour
Yeah.
absorbs sweat as well. So I was just like combining just different things, like in different concentration, using myself as a guinea pig. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So
Oh.
so that's the journey that is happening in the past. And then once I get the recipe right, you get the recipe right. I was like, okay, but it doesn't smell like anything. So I was like, oh, I add cinnamon, so it smells, like
Ah.
let's say this kind of thing. So that's the thing that I did. And another thing that you didn't even realize at that time is when you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, right?
Mhm.
Toothbrush, I can get it with bamboo. There is a lot of bamboo toothbrush out there right now.
Mhm.
Toothpaste at that time,
Mm.
there is no toothpaste
Yeah.
without plastic. So there comes my problem. So after 3 months of me giving a try the zero waste lifestyle, I'm running out of toothpaste. And I'm like, I cannot buy the normal one anymore.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I start making my own toothpaste. So
Okay.
there are some recipe online of people making, like this natural homemade toothpaste using baking soda. Basically, baking soda is my friends on the first
Yeah.
couple of years of, living zero waste because it's actually, you can clean anything with baking
Yes.
soda.
And vinegar or
So
lemon. Oh my god.
it's
Any
like the perfect combination.
it
Anything,
mm,
anything that you need, you use that.
it's
Like
true.
this kind of. I'm sorry, but it's cheap, guys. I
It's
mean, you
true.
save money.
It's true. It's
Like,
true. I tried to clean the bathroom the other day and I was using all those famous brands and there was
uh,
specific mold in specific parts and I couldn't take it out. And once I used baking soda and vinegar, immediately within 3 hours, first of all, it was sparkly and it smelled so good. And my partner was like, "What did you do? What happened? It's so shiny." And I was like, just baking soda and vinegar.
yes,
That's it.
yes, yes. for whoever working in like big company listening to this, I'm very sorry, but I have to break the news that there is alternative that is cheaper for people who would like to use, like product. Maybe you can try to change your packaging. Then I will
Make
I
it
will
look
be
like baking
inclined to
soda.
use your product. Yeah, that's right. So changing the packaging will be one way. But
Yeah,
also
yeah,
at the same time, like for example, like right now I'm pregnant. Cleaning
yeah,
chemicals is really not good for people who are pregnant,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So I come back again to the baking soda and vinegars and lemon.
yeah,
Sometimes salt also can
yeah,
can be so clean, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's like the holy grail of solution that I have. And
Nice.
right now I stopped making the deodorant because I found out there is a stone called aloe stone. It's sort of an absurd shape, but not really because it doesn't have alcohol in it, right?
Mm-hmm,
It's a
mm-hmm,
stone. It's literally a crystal stone.
mm-hmm,
You can just have this stone and then you make it wet.
mm-hmm.
And then once it get wet, you can just rub it on your armpit and it stay good for a couple of hours if it is not hot. And if it is cold, it can stay for the whole day. And you can just buy one of this block of
Yeah,
stone
yeah.
and it stays with you for like almost 1 year. So it's also money saving thing.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It's
Wow.
incredible. It is incredible. Like whoever invent this, thank you. It's kind of like in Indonesia, they also use it as a disinfectant for water. Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you some, why do you think it's so, you're describing so nicely, and it sounds actually much easier than anybody would think. However, I feel like a lot of people are hesitant because maybe they think that it's easier if I go out to buy a bottle of water, it's easier to buy takeout food, everything is easier. Do you think that's the reason that a lot of people are hesitant and they don't adopt a zero waste philosophy?
I think it's really simple.
Mhm.
People hate it when you pick their behavior.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
as simple as that, because this is basically changing behavior. You
yeah.
change your whole day routine, not just
Mhm.
what you buy, but also the way you treat yourself.
Mhm.
Like, okay, I like for example, if you used to buy these chips, then you don't buy it anymore. It's a lifestyle changes,
Yeah,
right? Your
yeah,
lifestyle change.
yeah.
You surely become healthier, but the changes that comes to that point require routine, require discomfort, require for you to feel like, oh my God, I really want that. Like, guys, don't, for example, I don't know, don't beat yourself too much,
Yeah, yeah.
because even I live this lifestyle, once in a while, I still enjoy ramen noodles in
Mm.
packaging.
Yeah,
Once in
yeah,
a while, because I was like, oh my God, I really want that. And I was like, okay, you know what? I've done 100 good things on zero waste. I can like,
yeah,
I'm like, it's okay to do one, to do
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing. It's not
And it's
really,
nice
really,
of you to admit it. Like you're not like building a wall and saying, "No, I never do anything." Like
yeah.
you're a human.
And you know what? It's nothing perfect about lifestyle. Like
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah, yeah.
like there is no police, there is no rules that saying that you have to be in this certain standard. Let's say,
Yeah.
like I moved to 3 different countries. In each country, they have their own system and they have their own treatment. And sometimes you just cannot. Like for example, when I used to live in Maldives, right? In Maldives, fruit and vegetables is being imported to the country,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And then being shipped to the island where I live. Obviously, it has packaging. So I was vegetarian before I live in the Maldives because in the Netherlands, the fruit and vegetables come easily, right? But then when I was in the Maldives, I realized like, okay, if I become vegetarian, I'm actually increasing my footprint. My
Mhm,
carbon footprint is actually increased because all of the food that is being imported to this country and being shipped to me, right?
mhm, mhm, mhm,
What does the local do? They eat tuna because right like 2 minutes in front of like they open the door, 2 minutes is ocean. And
mhm,
then
mhm.
then they go fishing there, like and then they
Yeah.
got fish from there. So okay, if we're talking about sustainability, what is more sustainable is to eat tuna because tuna doesn't come in packaging. It comes in like abundant amount and these people know how to process it in
Mhm,
so many different ways. So I
mhm,
start eating fish.
mhm,
I
mhm.
started eating fish at that time. I stopped being vegetarian, not completely because of course, like I really enjoy my vegetables and I really like it. But I try to use vegetables that is locally. For example, coconut, how to treat coconut from salty food, sweet food, whatever treatment that you can get. So this is also something that you can give it a try, guys. What I mean is like adapt, right? Adapt things, and then do it from the place of love.
Yeah.
Because if you do it from the place of fear,
Yeah.
behavior changes will not work.
Yeah.
You will work just when authority is there, when there is a guy look out for you, and then like you're being scared of things, then you do it. But if it's come from the place of love, doesn't matter
Yeah.
if there is anybody in there or not, you still do it.
So somebody who is listening right now and he's kind of like skeptical, what are 3 tips that they can incorporate in their day life and start now, not tomorrow, like right now, make a small change based on what you're saying?
Yes. First of all, I think if you live in a country, let's say in Europe, for example, you will already get used to using this reusable tumbler. Let's say bottle,
The
drinking
bottle.
bottle. You already use that. You already use tap water, drink tap water. You already do that. Not in Indonesia. Please do not drink tap water in Indonesia if you're in Indonesia. Not healthy and not safety. But if you already start that, then you can start next step. The next step is to audit your trash. Know what you're throwing away. Because without knowing what you're throwing away, you cannot reduce it. If you don't have the data, you cannot reduce it, right? So segregate your trash. Know, okay, for 1 week, I throw away this much trash, this much organic, this much plastic. And then decide what kind of trash that you want to reduce. So which one that you want to reduce, and then start from one thing. Don't get overwhelmed to start with everything. And please, if you have a container that comes in plastic and is reusable, keep them. Don't just throw them away because they're plastic. No. I'm not saying we are against plastic. We are against single use of stuff. If the stuff is being used only one time, then we don't want to use it anymore. I mean, we can do another podcast when it comes to like menstrual product. That there's a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah,
like about that, right? But the idea is that we want to reduce the single use stuff, and if you can push it towards maybe start with food containers, maybe start with like focusing on whole food, let's say, and then later on you start with their cleaning and hygiene product like soap, shampoo. See if you can get a shampoo bar. If you cannot find a shampoo that, like for example, there are brands right now that you can return the packaging to them and they will process it, and then like you get a discount from that. Do that thing as well. Do the research and make it fun. Watch documentary. That's also something that you can do, because this lifestyle has been there for quite some time right now. I mean, I started in 2016. It's almost 10 years. In 3 years, it's almost 10 years. I do this, and I'm not perfect. And so don't feel that you are a failure just because you failed one time. Because what I realized is that when people's doing this lifestyle, they look at me and they're like, "But you've done this, you've done that." Like, trust me, I failed in the beginning. I failed. I sometimes I still fail. Sometimes I still like, okay, because I'm married with somebody who doesn't get used to with this lifestyle, and we just start having, like living together, like having the same house. Sometimes I go home with this plastic bag, and now they're like, we talk about this, and he was like, shoot, I forgot, like this kind of thing. So it's okay, like don't beat yourself up, and invite your friends and family. It's more fun to do it together rather than do it.
That is so amazing, Nila. Like, I think that you will become an amazing mother. You will have a beautiful imprint in your child. And speaking of that, I also wanted to ask you, closing this beautiful conversation, what would you want your children to remember of you?
Not just my children, but this is basically the why of my life. If you don't know what is your why, check on the books by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. There's some exercise in there for you to find your why. My why is like, I want to be remembered as somebody who try my best to do good to this earth and not the opposite, let's say. So even though it's just small stuff that I do just by reducing trash at home, I hope to be remembered as something as that person, let's say. And we can do another podcast for like zero waste baby because I am
Please.
going crazy with this diapers industry, like
I have a lot. We have a girl. We need to talk. We need to talk about it because I have so many stuff that I can donate. So many toys. Oh, you have no idea. This is a huge discussion. 100% about parents, new mothers. Really, so many things that we can discuss about us, about our needs that needs
and we
need to be
cannot
met.
help it. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's too
yeah.
good. And then
Yeah.
you just have to buy it.
I know. But closing this conversation, I wanted to ask you when people can find you, what platforms do you use, and how we can come in touch with you.
So this is ways Instagram. Everybody, I think everybody have Instagram. Just follow me at Nona No Plastic. Maybe later on,
I'll
you
put it
can
on.
on the description and just contact me there. I'm very responsive on Instagram, and yeah, I would love to hear and I hear what you did. Tag me if you actually do something. Would love to share it as well with the people.
Well, okay, we have homework. For the people who watch this episode, please, after a week, come back to Nila and tell her what 3 things you did to eliminate waste in your life. Well, thank you so much, Nila, for being here today. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm really, really excited, and I'm really, really curious what people will say about this episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.